Today is a very, very special event, not just for the city of Lawrence, but for one of our hardest working employees, somebody who truly gives meaning to the word of public servant. He's given 65 years of dedicated service, not just to the cemetery, but to the city of Lawrence and various city departments. I would like to welcome the chairwoman of the Bellevue Cemetery Board of Directors, Elizabeth Charlton, who has some few remarks.
Good evening. I'd like to thank everyone for being here on this truly special occasion. Today, we gather not only to celebrate a remarkable milestone, but to honor a legacy, 65 years of unwavering service, commitment, and dedication to our beloved city. 65 years is more than a measure of time. It is a testament to perseverance, to purpose, and to enduring power of community. Over the decades, our city has changed in countless ways. We've grown, we've faced challenges, we've celebrated triumphs, and through it all, there has been one constant, the steady hand and devoted heart of Nicholas Kolofoles, who has stood by this city and the Bellevue Cemetery with loyalty, passion, and integrity. When you serve a community for this long, you become part of its fabric. The sidewalks, the neighborhoods, the park, and the lives touched all bear your fingerprints. Whether it was through public service, leadership, mentorship, or everyday acts of kindness, your contributions have shaped the very character of this place. We are here not just to say thank you, but to make sure your legacy is remembered and celebrated. Because what you've done isn't just historic, it's inspirational. You've taught us that true service isn't about recognition, it's about responsibility. It's about showing up year after year with the same sense of purpose and pride as the first day. So today, on behalf of the Bellevue Cemetery Board of Directors, we honor Nick Kolofoles. Mr. Tower Hill, we dedicate this granite bench to remind your future generations of what it looks like to serve with heart. May your example continue to inspire, and may your legacy live on every corner of this community you helped build. Congratulations, Nick, and thank you for everything.
Buenas tardes, yo voy a traducirlo al español ahora. Gracias por acompañarnos en esta ocasión tan especial. Hoy nos reunimos no solo para celebrar un logro extraordinario, sino para rendir homenaje a un legado, 65 años de servicio, compromiso, dedicación inquebrantable a nuestra querida ciudad. 65 años representan más que una medida de tiempo. Son un testimonio de perseverancia, propósito del poder duradero a la comunidad. A lo largo de estas décadas, nuestra ciudad ha cambiado de muchas formas. Hemos crecido, enfrentado desafíos, celebrado triunfos, y a lo largo de todo ese camino ha existido una constante: la mano firme y el corazón dedicado de Nicholas Kolofoles, quien ha acompañado a esta ciudad y al cementerio Bellevue con lealtad, pasión e integridad. Servir a una ciudad durante tanto tiempo convierte a una persona en parte de su esencia. Las aceras, los vecindarios, los parques y la vida tocadas llevan sus huellas, ya sea a través del servicio público, el liderazgo, la memoria o actos cotidianos de bondad. Sus contribuciones han formado el carácter mismo de este lugar. Estamos aquí no solo para decir gracias, sino para agradecernos de que su legado sea recordado y celebrado. Porque lo que usted ha hecho no solo es histórico, sino profundamente inspirador. Nos ha enseñado que el verdadero servicio no busca el reconocimiento, sino que nace de la responsabilidad. Se trata de presentarse año tras año con el mismo sentido de propósito y orgullo que el primer día. Así que hoy, en nombre de la Junta Directiva del Cementerio Bellevue, lo honramos. Señor Tower Hill, dedicamos este granito como recordatorio para las generaciones futuras de lo que significa servir con el corazón. Que su ejemplo continúe inspirándonos y que su legado viva en cada rincón de esta comunidad que usted nos ayudó a construir. Felicidades, Nick, y gracias por todo.
So we're going to present Nick now with this the bench right here. Everybody? All set?
Nicholas Kolofoles, 65 years of selfless service to the city of Lawrence.
Congratulations.
And now I would like to welcome Mayor Brian A. DePena, who has some few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say thank you for being here. This is a great moment for the city of Lawrence because today somebody in the city living a beautiful legacy for the future generation. Service is not easy. It's not easy because you dedicated time, family time, for your work, for your life. When you serve for 65 years, you touch many lives, many people. You change many lives. And I remember when I came 25 years ago to the city of Lawrence, it's a very different city. But I remember Nick Kolofoles, he fought it. I remember in the city council, sometimes he extended the hour city council because he have many questions and different every single city council meeting. But it's a great honor today for dedicated that moment, a day for Nick Kolofoles because he's a not only good resident, he's a good friend, good family. And I remember my good friend Charlie. Charlie, every time she looking for me in my office, and he said, Mr. Brian DePena, when you visited my brother Charlie, it's a good man. And I said, no, that's perfect man. It's a perfect man. Charlie, good brother. I want to say thank you. And I waited. Mr. Kolofoles continue at least 65 more years if you want it. Continue service 65 more years in the city of Lawrence. Welcome. Okay? But this is a legacy for the new generation and growth the city. It's not easy. I repeat again, it's not easy serving to the community because you take a time for your families, a moment the family don't understand sometimes for what reason one person dedicated time for another person, for community, but the more important is the legacy for the new generation. God bless my good friend Nick Kolofoles. God bless your family, your friend, and the city of Lawrence. Thank you so much. Nick, I know you have many dedication, many proclamation, maybe recognition, but today, on the name to the city of Lawrence, I want to again give a proclamation for the city of Lawrence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. The proclamation is too long to read. However, basically it's what he stated.
Nicholas James Kolofoles Day.
Oh, Nicholas James Kolofoles Day.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's your day today.
Oh, yeah, that's your birthday, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot it's my birthday. Oh, don't tell anybody, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's always a beautiful moment when you get to honor city employees, especially those who remind us to serve with love. With that being said, I would like to take a moment to welcome the Council President, Giovanni Rodriguez.
Hey, Council. How are you doing? All right.
Good afternoon. Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you for everybody that show up today. I would like to introduce the councilors that are here today, including Councilor Kolofoles. Once you become a councilor, you always be a councilor. Councilor Rosario, include the District C councilor, Councilor at Large, Ana Levy, Councilor at Large, Selena Reyes, and Councilor for District D, both of them, and now F, Councilor LaPlante, including Councilor Kolofoles, District D. First of all, I would like to recognize Nick for his years of service as a city councilor, because when you serve the community, it is an inspiration first. Then it is something that you're passionate about it. And Nick have done that well done for the city of Lawrence for years. As a councilor, he was there all the time asking questions, asking tough questions, representing the Tower Hill area and the neighborhood. He also represents the community very well when it comes to the neighborhood association. And every time that the police department show up and present those crimes analysis for this area, he was always there asking those specific questions, asking those tough questions to ensure that safety is one of the main priority for this community. So Nick, when I run for city councilor back in 2015, he was one of the people that gave me a few pieces of advice that I took it with me, and still today, I'm still using it. Why? Because he is a public servant. He cares about the community. He have done it well in the past, and he keep on doing his service here at the Bellevue Cemetery with passion, dignity, to represent all people from the city of Lawrence. With that said, I would like to present this recognition, one of many, to Nick for the years of service and dedication as a city employee, as a committee leader of the Tower Hill Neighborhood Association, and also as a councilor. Thank you, councilor, for represent this community and the way that you have done it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Council President. Whenever I speak to the Council President Giovanni, and I said to him just the other day, maybe a week or so, when he and the other young councilor came in to run for Council Radcliffe, Kenny Radcliffe, I said, you guys are too young. I mean, you're going to learn the job, right? However, Councilor here, President Giovanni, has done a tremendous job, and so did the other young councilor that I don't see here probably today. But it's about passion and sympathy for people that are living in this city that need things. They don't know how to ask. I was there to teach them. If they didn't ask, I'd show them how. And that's what I did. And only through efforts like Giovanni, our president here, and the rest of the council, because all the councils have to be good. There's the council from District D, again. We got many different names. I've forgotten names now. You know, I don't know what happened. It's embarrassing, you know, but it's okay. But they're all good people, and they all work hard for the people of Lawrence. And believe me, they do it, and they get things done. Thank you very much. Thank you, Council President.
All right. For those of you who don't know me, Senator Pavel Payano, 1st Essex District. Now, I will say, I take great pleasure not just being here, because this is my former city councilor, but as I'm looking around the space, I see so many Lawrence people. We have former city councilors here. We have former city clerks. We have individuals that did a lot of great work in our neighborhood associations. We have people that deeply care about the city, whether you're living in Lawrence right now or you just worked in Lawrence. I think that as speaking as us Laurentians, everybody here today is a Lawrence person. So it's great kind of seeing folks that do similar work to myself here, because most people that see me do the work that I do, they think I'm crazy. They're like, man, why would you do this for a couple of years? Now I can, turn to Councilor Kolofoles and be like, this man was doing it for 65, so what I'm doing is like nothing compared to him. So it's really great being here. I will say, one of the things that I admire about Councilor Kolofoles is that since I was about that age, 12, 13 years old, this man has always come up and he's asked me, how's your family doing? Now I will say for the last several decades, he's always called me Pedro, which is my father's name. And no amount of me saying it's Pavel gets him to remember that. It's always Pedro. But he was always asking, hey, how's your mom and dad? And I was like, wow, man, what a great guy. And, then I realized, oh, no, he's just checking for his votes, making sure that they're lined up. But no, if there was one thing that you could always, as Mayor DePena said, Councilor Kolofoles deeply cared not just about his city, but about his neighborhood. And whether you agreed or you disagreed, you knew that one of the biggest advocates for Tower Hill was this man right here. So I deeply, deeply admire that. I also admire, as someone who's cared about this city since I was a really young kid, and who deeply loved history, one of the things that I read up about it was Councilor Kolofoles. Before he was councilor, he actually ran for state rep. And it was at a time when Lawrence didn't have a lot of representation. And he took his name out there, he put himself out there for the city to try to obtain that position. And while he did not, he laid the foundation for those of us that came after. And now, we are in a place where Lawrence has so much representation, unlike, any other time in history. And it thanks for individuals like him. And lastly, before I present the citation, this is something that I learned when I was working for Congresswoman Tsongas. June Black turned to me, Councilor Kolofoles, and she says, "Oh, you're friends with Councilor Kolofoles?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, we go back." And he's like, "Oh, did you know that he's a good singer?" I'm like, "He's a singer? No, I mean, he's a counselor." This man is a professional singer. Now, I was hoping that at some point we would bump into some karaoke event, and I would get to hear him do it. So next time that you're with him, have him sing you guys a few tunes. Counselor, so I have here a citation from the State Senate thanking you for your 65 years of selfless service to the city of Lawrence and its residents, signed by myself and the Senate President. And one of the great things about citations that come from us is that this is now a part of history. So someone 100 years from now is going to see that you obtained this. Thank you so much for your service. And I hope that we have not just yourself, but that dozens and dozens of folks take up this and do, maybe not 65, but at least 50 years, Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you. Stay right there. I'm going to tell you about Senator Pavel. Pedro. No, it isn't Pedro. Let me just say this about him. I remember when they were coming to the city, and they had a youth group. And this youth, he talked about, he came in at 12 years old. He was younger, I think. And he learned from the ground on up what and how to help people. That was his mode. That was his career to do. It was made to help the people of the community and of the state. And I saw him in action when he was 12 years old, 15 years old. He would line up the city council round table. Who took charge is my friend Pedro, no, Pavel. But he's done a great job, and he will continue to. Because I know him, and I know his father and mother, and so forth, and wonderful people they were. I always did say, when I meet his father, how's everybody?
Yep.
Always. Thank you, Pedro. Pedro. You got me calling him Pedro now.
We'll take a picture right here.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
All right, Nick, don't go too far. So thank you, Pedro. So Nick, I have so many stories about Nick. I got elected in 2008, so I served 2 terms with Nick Kolofoles. So I got some really good stories to tell, but I'm gonna keep it PG because of Nick. One of the things, Nick became a mentor to me when I was in the city council. The first thing I got elected, I met him at a coffee shop. And he says, "Frank, if you want to learn something in the city council, you should serve in the ordinance committee." He says, "Frank, every city council that comes into this chamber should go through the ordinance committee because that's where 60% of the work gets done." He wasn't kidding. So first, when I first got elected, I went to the council president back then, Patrick Blanchett, and I said, "Hey, can I be in the ordinance committee?" He says, "Sure, no problem." So I didn't know what I was getting into because 70%, I would say 70% of the work goes to the ordinance committee. So we were seriously very, very busy in that committee. And because of that, I actually gave the same advice to every city council before I left. I gave that advice to former chair, Stella Reyes, when she was there as well. So when I left, I was Stella, when you first got elected, make sure you get into the ordinance committee because that's what you really learn. That's where everything gets done. So thank you for that advice, and I will continue doing that. And it's remarkable that you served the city of Lawrence for 65 years, but I know you did more before you got elected. In 1996, when I was in my mid-20s, I bought my home on Diamond Street. And the first place I went to was to the Tower Hill Neighborhood Association. So I was in my mid-20s. My next door neighbor, Ralph, says, we should go to a neighborhood meeting because that's where we figure out what goes on in our community and our neighborhood. And the first person I met was Nick Kolofoles. He was the president of the president of the Tower Hill Neighborhood Association back then in the 90s. And I heard him how passionate he was about the community, how passionate he was about Tower Hill. And that's one of the reasons why I'm still there. Almost 30 years later, I'm still up here because I had great representation year after year when you were there. And I know even when you left, you were still involved. So thank you for that, Nick. On behalf of the Lawrence City Council, I can't get away from that. On behalf of the Massachusetts House of Representatives, I have a citation signed by Speaker of the House, Ron Mariano, myself, Representative Reyes, Representative Paulino. Congratulations, Nick, and God bless you. And I hope God continue blessing you with good health.
I just want to say that what our state representative said, I always asked him for much advice because, one person can't think for himself. You need two, maybe three, other ideas. And Frank Moran gave me good ideas to run the ordinance committee as the chairman. And also that during that time, 70% of the time spent in the ordinance, and many times it was very, very difficult, Frank, because people would be against it, especially, taxi ordinance license like that. License that affected the people of Lawrence meant a lot to Frank and myself and the rest of the subcommittee. And these ordinances, like handicap cards, handicap placards, we were concerned about thousands and thousands. You can't have it unless you're qualified for it. Is that right, Frank? And let me just tell you, they were going like gangbusters, and I would not allow it. And I called the registry of motor vehicles, and I said, we're getting too many. And then I guess we got stricter, and that's what happened, I think. But again, it gets out of hand at the time. But thank you very much, Mr. Senator. Oh, no, not yet.
No, not ever.
Not yet.
Not ever.
No.
We'll take you.
No. We got Pavel, and then we got Frank. We got the best, and then I didn't know Stella was
Stella's
here.
right here next to you.
I didn't know you were here.
Oh, yes.
And this is another one. Stella Reyes. She was on which committee were you on?
Yes. Just following your advice.
Right, yeah.
Just following your advice that you gave it to Rep. Moran.
Right, yeah.
So that's why he's taking me into
Exactly.
that ordinance committee until I became a chair.
Great, yeah, I remember that. So when I was not in the council anymore, I needed the chairman of that ordinance committee. And she thought, as Frank did, and I did, to run the ordinance committee to help the citizens of Lawrence. And that's what we did. Am I right? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you know what? I forgot one thing, Nick.
Okay.
The traffic study that you really
Oh, yeah.
advocated for,
Yeah, right.
it got done. Mayor DePena did that.
Oh, great. Thank you. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I would also like to briefly bring the Chief of Police, Maurice Aguilar. I know he is here. If we could welcome him to the podium with an applause, please.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Maurice Aguilar, Chief of Police. I just wanted to extend a couple of congratulations to Mr. Kolofoles. Number one, for his service to our community, longstanding service. I don't think that there's anyone here that is not familiar with the work that he's done for the city, or at the very least for his activism and everything else. I remember Nick representing the city and representing our neighborhoods. Even as I was a child growing up, he was always active. He always represented us, equally across the board. And for that, I just wanted to say thank you very much, extend not only from mine, but many of the people in the police department who recognize his service, know him from growing up, and know him to be an icon of the city. So I think that this recognition is well-deserved, perhaps even long overdue, but I am glad that it happened. I'm glad that he saw it happen, and we're very happy. I think he brought a lot of us together in his own way. So on behalf of the Lawrence Police Department, members of the police department, and especially myself, who has fond memories of you, congratulations on this very well-deserved recognition, Mr. Kolofoles.
I just wanted to say it took a while to pick a chief, but I'm sure, I can't pronounce the last name good. Aguilar, Chief Aguilar. And reading about the different chiefs that we've had over the years, there should be a picture gallery. But I'm going to tell you a little joke. Listen to this, Chief. When I was on the city council, all the councilors, some of us went down for coffee at night. And the chief, there was a chief of police there, and I've forgotten his name, but I can't, we'd go down to Dunkin' Donuts there on Lawrence Street, and we'd have talk about after a city council meeting. And I was sitting next to a police officer, but I thought he was just an officer. And I said, oh boy, to the councilors next door, what do you think of the police chief we have? And the chief police, I said to him, why do you like the police chief? He said, I like him. I said, well, I don't think he's doing that good of a job. Guess who I was sitting next to? The chief of police. That's incredible. I was so embarrassed, but let me tell you, we became very, very good friends. Chief,
Congratulations.
when you were sitting next to me and at a function, I'm going to remember you.
That's right.
And he's done a wonderful job as a patrolman, as an officer, and he grew up in the ranks, and he's with our city. He's going to be great with the new police station. When does that open up, Chief?
That's right.
When does it open?
We're expecting February.
In February of 2026?
Yes.
Wow. Brand new. Well deserved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Sorry. Oh, boy. I don't take good pictures.
That makes two of us.
Probably in Spanish.
You never know. I don't know.
Take care, Chief.
We also have some words for the Lawrence City Councilor for District C, Gregory Del Rosario, who is the councilor of this district.
I must be special because I've been up here twice. So, I mean, to me, it's an honor. And like everybody else, I got advice from Nick. The first time I ran for this receipt, I moved in 322 Ames Street, which was a few houses from Nick. And I'm starting my mailing, right? And I send him a mail introducing myself and introducing my campaign. And he walked from his house to mine and knocked on the door. And he said, if you want to win, the first thing you got to do is learn who your really voters are. I'm in District D, and you mail me this, and you're running for District C. If you need me to teach you how to read, I'm willing to help you from this time to this time, right? And it was amazing. And after that, I keep going to Nick, like I walked over there and asked him questions. And I know I took an hour or two for Nick to answer me one question, but it was in details, extremely details. And the next day when I go back, I said, I kind of learned what you said, right? And he repeated again over and over until I had it in my head. So most of the things I do, and I still represent this receipt and this cemetery, I mean, I learned it from Nick. And I'm glad I'm here also recognizing Nick alive. I push this a lot at the city council that we should recognize people when they're alive and not wait for them to be gone. And I'm glad to be here, Nick, and thank you for everything you have done for the city and everything you have teachers. And that's what we do because of people like you. Thank you.
We also have some members of his family who's here. You would like to introduce yourself?
Good evening, and thank you for being here tonight to celebrate Uncle Nick's retirement. It's kind of an interesting place to be meeting and celebrating, but it is what it is. So, happy birthday, happy retirement. My name is Stacy Kolofoles, and I'm Nick's proud niece. Growing up with a last name like Kolofoles, not Kolofoles, not Kolofoles, Kolofoles, a name you could not hide from. I've been asked more times than I can count, which one is your father? Are you Nick's daughter? Are you Mike's daughter? Are you Charlie's daughter? Is Kim a cousin? How are you related to Chucky? I'd answer proudly, I'm Mike's daughter. But no matter what the question was, the answer was always the same. Oh, you're Nick's niece. And I was always proud to say, yes, I'm Nick's niece. Let's just take a moment to acknowledge the miracle that my uncle even showed up tonight. He was a little resistant about coming, and when I spoke to Carmen Lopez from Bellevue Cemetery, she mentioned that this was supposed to be a surprise. But of course, Uncle Nick being Uncle Nick, he investigated, asked questions, and figured it out pretty quickly that this was his long overdue, unwanted retirement gathering. He's never been one for the spotlight. He does not brag. He doesn't boast. Not even after the 65 years of service that he has provided to the city. Sorry, my phone just skipped. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. To his beloved city, and not just to Lawrence, specifically Tower Hill, the neighborhood that shaped him and the one he served with tireless dedication. Uncle Nick has lived in Tower Hill his entire life. As his family grew smaller over the years, he had to make the difficult decision to sell our beloved Ames Street home that wasn't easy for him. After all, it was the first home it was the only home he's ever really known. The house wasn't just a building for him, it was a symbol of family, tradition, and decades of love and memories. Even after letting go of the home, one thing never changed, Uncle Nick's love for the city of Lawrence. Being part of a Greek family, especially Greek-American family in Lawrence, meant you were part of something close-knit. Our bonds are strong, loud, sometimes opinionated, but always loyal. Uncle Nick's parents, my grandparents, came to this country from Greece to build a better life. The spirit and the deep love for the community were passed down to all of us. Family wasn't something you belonged to, it was something you show up for. Uncle Nick and his siblings lived that truth every day, especially caring for their mom, my grandmother, as she got older. What was even more remarkable was after she passed, the siblings continued to look out for each other. That kind of loyalty never ended. For as long as I can remember, Uncle Nick and the city of Lawrence have been one and the same. That sense is the same. That sense of service seems to run in our blood. My dad, Mike, worked for the water department for more than 30 years. My Uncle Charlie was also widely associated with the city and also had many connections with local businesses and even the Lawrence Municipal Airport, to name a few. Both my sister and I also worked at Department of Family and Children and Family in Lawrence, and I also worked at Lawrence High School for 20 years. I would often think my whole family walked these halls. That was pretty cool. People would ask, "What's your last name?" I'd say Kolofoles, and they'd always say, "Who were you related to?" But usually they already knew. Somebody always knew our name. Uncle Nick saw Lawrence change over time. As the son of immigrants himself, he watched new waves of families arrive from all over the world, hoping for the same opportunity his parents once hoped for. He saw the demographics shift, neighborhoods evolve, and storefronts change languages. But through it all, my uncle treated everyone the same, with respect, kindness, and the belief that everyone deserves a chance to belong. He began his career as an assistant tax collector, excuse me if I mess this up, and also in the water department as an accountant. But perhaps his most visible and impactful role was as city councilor, where he was elected for 4 terms. I know I'm not scratching the surface of all the things my uncle has done for the city. In fact, you can see a picture of a newspaper clipping that I had enlarged, that my mom had cut out. It amazed me to see that way back when my uncle was just a kid, he was already involved in politics in this city. Uncle Nick was proud to represent Tower Hill, and he always put the needs of his community almost before his own. Sometimes that meant literally stepping in to protect it. There was that one time when Uncle Nick walked into a local convenience store, probably to play his daily lottery numbers. As he entered, the store was being robbed. Most people would back out slowly, call the police, hide behind the chip aisle, or just run. But Uncle Nick, without hesitation, yelled at the robber, like a strict father catching someone sneaking in after curfew. Somehow it worked. The guy actually ran out of the store. Uncle Nick thwarted a robbery without anything but his voice and his no-nonsense attitude. Even after retiring from the city, my uncle kept giving, volunteering for years at Bellevue Cemetery. No paycheck, no applause. He just simply saw a place in his neighborhood that needed attention, and he gave it. Faithfully, consistently, but never quietly. Because that's who he is. Through all of this, he taught me how to be a caretaker. I watched him take care of his siblings as they aged, put everyone else's needs before his own, and show up day after day. Now, when he needs something, I feel honored to be the one who shows up for him, the same way he always showed up for us. He didn't just teach me about family, he taught me about politics. He showed me how to register to vote. He taught me how to place a bet on the daily number, taught me how to campaign, a little bit of everything. He always believed in civic duty and also in a little bit of luck. Growing up, if I ever needed a pen, an envelope, a rubber band, a paper clip, even anything remotely related to work, I knew where to go. Every day, Uncle Nick wore a business-style suit with a pen tucked in his pocket protector. Not too long ago, after having a minor medical procedure, he came out of surgery, and the first thing he asked is, "Where's my phone? I need to call Verizon." We were all by his side trying to help, looking for a pen, and of course, Uncle Nick, fresh out of surgery, had one. Now, as organized as Uncle Nick is, there's one thing about being a Kolofoles that always stays true. We're always looking for our keys, our phones, and some kind of remote control. Some people work 9 to 5 and retire after 30 years. My uncle has done 65 years. Some of us in this room haven't been alive that long. His career is nothing short of legendary, but that's not what defines him. What defines him is his heart, the way he cares for his family, his neighbors, and the city he loved. So tonight, we're not just celebrating his incredible service, we're also celebrating his birthday. So what better time to reflect and be grateful and say, happy retirement, Uncle Nick, happy birthday. Thank you from your family, your neighborhood, and your city. We love you.
He's the only one that she really knows what she's doing, but I can't let her off with everything else. Stay here for a minute. I just want to say, I have other nieces that are just as good. However, they're far away, but I got one here that's nearer. It's in Salem, New Hampshire, Methuen. And I need her. I need her, and she's a love to my life. Thank you. Good job.
Nicholas, Uncle Nick, Counselor, Mayor of Tower Hill. Over these years, these are a few of the many names I have heard people call Nick Kolofoles. Me, I call him friend, family, and mentor. For those of you who I have not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Keith Wadika. I first met Nick as a little boy, causing my parents headaches at the convenience store, Tower Hill Variety. I remember Nick coming into the store every day after working in City Hall as the assistant tax collector. He always wore a jacket and tie, would socialize with fellow patrons, enjoy a cup of coffee, scratch the occasional lottery ticket, and he loved to talk about horse races at the Rockingham Park. In 1988, he co-founded the Tower Hill Neighborhood Association with former city councilor, the late David Clayman. The goal was to improve the quality of lives of the residents. They held meetings with the city officials and special guests. Around 1993, Nick drafted me to help with the neighborhood newsletter and National Night Out cookouts at the reservoir. Years would go by, and eventually I would become his vice president. Nick has always been passionate about the community, especially the neighborhood of Tower Hill. I have personally witnessed him help hundreds of residents resolve issues from potholes, loud neighbors, drug activity, food and fuel assistance. Under Nick's leadership, things got done. Not because of his charm and warm personality, because he never took no for an answer. We call that pulling a Nick. Earlier, I referred to Nick as a mentor because after witnessing him help so many people and how that impacted their lives, it became infectious. Nick introduced me to many politicians and community leaders and taught me how to build relationships in order to get things done. Over the past few decades, there have been so many accomplishments by Nick. We could be here all night talking about them, but here's a few that stand out in my memory. Nick wrote a grant to obtain the brand new fire truck for Tower Hill's Engine 8 and celebrated their 100th anniversary. He helped obtain funding for the blockhouse for the children of Tower Hill down at Gagnon Park. He led the fight to remove the trash incinerator on Manchester Street to help improve the air quality. He helped to obtain funding for the new water department treatment plant. He once approached an undercover police officer posing as a prostitute and told her to get out of his neighborhood, and he called the cops on her. As Stacy mentioned too, he stopped a robbery at a local convenience store on Essex Street. Nick was talking with the store owner, guy come in with the gun. Nick, without thinking, shoved him, yelled, and the guy took off. He started the Tower Hill Neighborhood Association annual Christmas party and built relationships with Toys for Tots to help families obtain presents for the children of Tower Hill. A personal favorite of mine was when he decided to run for city councilor. He won several times, and he could be seen working in City Hall every day for his constituents. And one last one, which I believe is the reason why we are all here today. Nick was appointed lifetime board member of the Bellevue Cemetery. He held chairman position on several occasions, helped to protect and secure cemetery funds, and oversaw many improvements to the property. Nick has never wanted to be in the spotlight, never needed a pat on the back, and he does not like people making a fuss over him. Too bad, Nick. Like Stacey said, you showed up. In my opinion, this has been long overdue, very much deserved. So to my friend, my family, my mentor, I say thank you for all you have done for me, the City of Lawrence, and the residents of the Tower Hill community. Thank you.
I just wanna mention this.
No, you don't have to.
I do. Keith, as he mentioned, is really, really true. But I am so proud that Mr. Wallaker here, Keith, I call him K-Man, and he has done an excellent job. He's running a business. He ran a business. He moved from Tower Hill to the, Riverwalk on Merrimack Street in Lawrence, and he's a successful businessman. And let me tell you, through that business and the things that he learned, and the things that he learned by himself while listening, he's been a very successful business, and he's improved every time. But again, he brings me back to a memory, to me, that I remember bumping into an individual at Market Basket, and he said, "Oh, hello, Nick." "Nick? Well, who are you?" I said. Well, it was a gentleman that grew up just like Keith, and he said, "Oh, I remember you on Dewey Street in Lawrence." "Yeah, Tower Hill, yeah." "Well, I remember what you told me about going and helping people." I said, "What? Who did you help?" "I helped this individual man that needed the help, my next door neighbor. And I helped him, and he saved his life." And I really, that man, I can't remember, but he was 8 years old, but at Market Basket, he was like 38 when I met him. It's unbelievable, and they still remembered me. I said, "Thank you, but I'm sorry, but I forget." But I remember that episode. Thank you very much, Keith, and you continue to do work and help the community with your business. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Keith.
And now I would like to welcome the Board of Directors for the Bellevue Cemetery to come to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maria Tavares. I'm one of the board members for the Bellevue Cemetery. I'm here accompanied by Machuca, a board member, Elizabeth Charlton, and Steve Murphy. We have a few words. Today marks a special moment in the ongoing history of our beloved cemetery. For over 30 years, the small water fountain before us stood silent, a symbol of days gone by and memories that were cherished. Thanks to the vision and the commitment of our board of directors and with the support of our community, we have restored this historic fountain to its former glory. This project is more than just the repair of a fountain. It is a testament to perseverance, collaboration, and the importance of honoring those who have supported our mission. Through many challenges, one leader has stood by us, visiting, encouraging, and helping to move our cemetery forward. That leader is our mayor. Today, we're proud to dedicate and unveil this running water fountain in honor of our mayor, whose steadfast support has made a lasting difference. May this fountain serve as a symbol of renewal and a reminder of the positive impact that dedicated leadership brings to our community. Thank you, Mayor, for your unwavering commitment. Thank you to everyone who made this restoration possible. Let us celebrate this shining moment together. And I'm going to repeat the same in Spanish. Buenas tardes a todos. Hoy es un día especial en la historia de nuestro querido cementerio. Durante más de 30 años, la pequeña fuente de agua que ven aquí permaneció en silencio, como símbolo de tiempos pasados y recuerdos valiosos. Gracias a la visión y el compromiso de nuestra junta directiva y al apoyo de nuestra comunidad, hemos restaurado esta fuente histórica a su esplendor original. Este proyecto es mucho más que la reparación de una fuente. Es un testimonio de la perseverancia, la colaboración y la importancia de honrar a quienes han apoyado a nuestra misión. A través de muchos desafíos, un líder ha estado siempre a nuestro lado, visitándonos, animándonos y ayudando a que nuestro cementerio siga adelante. Ese líder es nuestro alcalde. Hoy nos sentimos orgullosos de dedicar e inaugurar esta fuente en honor a nuestro alcalde, cuyo apoyo constante ha dejado una huella duradera. Que esta fuente sea símbolo de renovación y recordatorio del impacto positivo que un liderazgo dedicado aporta a nuestra comunidad. Gracias, señor alcalde, por su compromiso inquebrantable. Gracias a todos los que hicieron posible esta restauración. Celebremos juntos este momento brillante y en este momento pediremos que el alcalde pase por aquí a encontrarse con nosotros.
Come on. Alcalde, tenemos que algo. All right, let's go. In honor of Brian De Peña, in appreciation of the service and support to the Bellevue Cemetery, City of Florence, 2025.
Thank you.
You deserve it, Maria. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Okay. You're a good man.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I want to say thank you.
Picture,
This
picture.
is special pride for me because when Director Carmen called me about Cedar Fountain, and she told me, listen, Mr. Mayor, you have one idea what you want to do into the fountain? I said, listen, it's time to renew the city of Lawrence. Every single corner, especially the cemetery, because many people visited the cemetery, and I want to continue improving the cemetery. Not only the street, not only neighbor, include the cemetery. It's that's only for started improve the cemetery. The cemetery is historical. If you visit it behind the street, this is legacy for this generation, not for the new generation. But it's in bad condition. I'm waiting. It's my idea. Many people, when visit the city of Lawrence, visited the cemetery because this is historical. And I continue improvement, street, and continue the historical legacy the cemetery has. Thank you. And I'm so happy because put it next to my good friend, Nick Kolofoles. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor.
And now we have some few remarks from the man himself.
Excuse me. Clear my throat. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here today. The President makes this occasion truly special. And I mean truly special. It's been an honor to serve the city and the Bellevue Cemetery for 65 years. And over the decades, I've witnessed many changes, challenges, and triumphs in our community. Through it all, I have always tried to serve with loyalty, integrity, dignity, and a deep sense of responsibility. I am grateful for the support and friendship of so many colleagues, such as my counselors and friends, politicians, and neighbors. I especially want to thank the Board of Directors of the Bellevue Cemetery for the recognition and everyone who helped make today possible. This city has been my home, and I am proud to have played a part of its story. And it's quite a story. Thank you for your kindness, your encouragement, and for sharing the moment with me today. I want to thank you, everyone, for being here today. Thank you so much.
Yo lo voy a traducir de nuevo. Gracias a todos por estar aquí hoy. Su presencia hace que esta ocasión sea verdaderamente especial. Ha sido un honor servir a esta ciudad, al cementerio Bellevue, durante 65 años. A lo largo de las décadas, he sido testigo de muchos cambios, desafíos, triunfos en nuestra comunidad. En todo momento he procurado servir con lealtad, integridad y un profundo sentido de responsabilidad. Estoy agradecido por el apoyo y la amistad de tantos colegas, amigos y vecinos. Quiero agradecer especialmente a la Junta Directiva por este reconocimiento y a todos los que hicieron posible este día. Esta ciudad ha sido mi hogar y me enorgullece haber formado parte de su historia. Gracias por su amabilidad, su apoyo y por compartir este momento conmigo. Muchas gracias.
So now, I would ask that the city of Lawrence, all of his residents, join in a nice happy birthday for Nick.
We have to sing it English, Spanish.
Thank you very much. I am so embarrassed because I never wanted anybody to know. But Keith will tell you, July 10th. I said, Keith, forget July 10th. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Feel free to join and get some refreshments over there.
I also want to take a moment to thank the Bellevue staff who helped set this event up, all the members of the board of directors of the Bellevue Cemetery, our director for the Bellevue Cemetery, wherever she might be, Carmen Lopez, who works very hard for the city and the cemetery. If we could please have a round of applause for all our city. This concludes our ceremony and tribute to Nick Kolofoles.